Hello, I'm Kevin Magee. I'm the CEO for Raine Horne in South Australia. Now, the reason we put this video together is basically just to give you a bit of an insight into the real estate sales profession and determining if this type of career is the right thing for you. Might be interested to know that a lot of people, when they start a new job, will move on usually within 2 years, regardless of industry, just because the expectations of that role haven't been met. Well, we'd certainly like to avoid that in the real estate sector. Already in this industry, across most brands and most organisations, there's an exceptionally high turnover of staff. And we'd like to avoid that and instead have you staying on to enjoy the benefits of the good income and the good hours and the good lifestyle that real estate can certainly deliver if you approach it the right way. So with that in mind, we're going to give you the hard truth on things like hours, in terms of income, in terms of a whole range of other aspects of this role, and hopefully that will help you with your decision making. Okay, so let's talk about the hard truth of getting into this profession. Personal skills. There's quite a few you're going to need, and one of them that you should consider is just liking people. This is a job not about houses, it's about people. So that's something very important to hang on to. You're going to be dealing with people who generally are at one of their most stressed circumstances. Buying or selling a house is one of the most stressful things you can do. So really you need to have patience, you need to be able to empathise, you need to be able to be a bit persistent, you need to have determination. You need to be ethical no matter what. No matter what pressures you're under, honesty is critical to being a professional. You also need to be open to learning. If you want to stay ahead of the pack, if you want to be able to deliver the best results for your client and for yourself, including the income and hours that you'll be working, keep learning. That's one thing that we'd be encouraging anybody coming into this profession. It doesn't stop with your qualifications. The other thing you need to be able to do as well is have the courage to confront with honesty, to tell them what they need to hear rather than what they want to hear. And that is also a critical aspect of our profession. Now let's talk about qualifications. Qualifications in South Australia, you can start in a real estate role under the new legislation if you are enrolled in a certificate in property services or with a statement of attainment in property services. And I'll explain those two a little bit more detailed in a moment. But if you do start with those qualifications, with that enrolment only, you need to ensure that you have a very capable and supportive mentor in place and that you do get the support you need. More commonly, what people are encouraged to do, and certainly we would encourage you to do, is to first gain your statement of attainment, which is 17 modules, or your certificate in property services, which is 24 modules. And you can get those through a number of organisations. Probably the three most prominent in South Australia would be the Real Estate Institute of South Australia, the Real Estate Training College, or TAFE SA. The course generally for either of those two options takes 6 to 7 weeks full-time or on a part-time basis depending how you structure it, or you could do it over the course of perhaps 12 months. So if you're the kind of person who has these type of qualities, has a bit of self-discipline and is open to learning, you can thrive in this environment. Now if you haven't got those type of qualifications, don't let that deter you. We're looking for people who've got the right qualities and the right attitude. The qualifications we can help you with, and we will help you with those. Houses don't sell themselves. Reality is in South Australia, probably over the last decade, roughly the average time on market for your average style house is 70 days. That means that you've got a lot of work to do in terms of looking after the client, attracting buyers, negotiating with different buyers, and that's just selling the house, let alone finding a house to sell. So it's not just a matter of being handed a property and selling it through open inspections or newspaper ads or anything like that. You will need to work at it. At the same time, you've also got to go and find the business. You've got to find the house to sell. You're not just selling someone else's products and services, product off the shelf or someone else's services to go out and do a job. It's not the kind of thing that we do in real estate. You're selling yourself and your services. The brand in your office is there to support you, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you. The other thing is, a lot of people say, I want to get into real estate because I love houses. Reality is, loving houses has got nothing to do with it. It's about people. People who are stressed. They might be selling their house because of illness, because of financial troubles, because of job loss, even unfortunately because of a death, for lots and lots of reasons that aren't happy, smiley, friendly, cuddly ones. And you're going to be dealing with these people at one of the most stressed points. The good side is that you can have a direct effect on improving somebody's quality of life and helping them move through a very difficult situation. And that's probably the most rewarding things about real estate. So you are going to have to work weekends and after hours. You've got to do the business when the business needs to be done, and weekends are our busiest time, as are a couple of times during the week after work, after normal work, not real estate work. So you need to think about how this is going to affect your family and your friends and your sporting activities. Talk to them, share your thoughts with them, and see if they share your career aspirations with you. Now, what we have found is that those people who have been particularly successful have generally invested 1 to 2 years in themselves and in the role, and basically done that in terms of putting in typically about 50 hours a week, sometimes a bit more, but usually it's about 50 hours a week. If you want to put in less than that, your chances of success are greatly reduced. And if you want to look at the 38-hour week, the realities there are that you'll probably be looking more along the lines of the minimum Australian salary for those hours. On the other side of it, your results really do drive what hours you work and what flexibility you have with your hours. If, in putting in that time, you start generating results that meet your company's targets and meet your sales targets, then you'll find most managers really won't care too much what you do with your time. If you go fishing 3 or 4 days a week but can still meet and beat your targets, they'll usually be more than happy with that. So in going with that, what we've also found is some of the best people in the industry who earn the highest salaries also work the least amount of hours. They've developed the skills and the reputation over that 1 to 2 years, or perhaps even longer, of getting the momentum behind the job, the database of clients behind the job, and the skills that they've constantly developed over that period and ongoing, which is an important aspect, to really take them to that level where they can trade off lifestyle, hours against income, and really create a very, very flexible, rewarding career.